Happy Vara Maha Lakshmi to all of you, Atma Jyotis. So, Namit, what is Lakshmi for you?
So, Lakshmi is both inner and outer wealth. So, inner wealth means like love, happiness, blissful, and kind, being affectionate, compassionate. All these are inner wealth, and outer wealth is like all power, position, money, and all that is outer wealth. We need both. We need outer wealth for food and our day-to-day needs. We need, and we need inner wealth for our own happiness.
Wonderful, very nice.
Sir, and I have a story to tell.
Yeah, go ahead.
Once Adi Shankaracharya was begging. Then he went to one lady's house. What happens is he asks for food. So then in that lady's house she doesn't have anything. She only doesn't have anything to eat. So she goes to a tree and gives Adi Shankaracharya a gooseberry. Then Adi Shankaracharya is pleased with this lady's she's being compassionate. That's why he's very happy. So then he prays to goddess Lakshmi this lady has inner wealth. Give her outer wealth. He sings Kanakadara Stotram to goddess Lakshmi. Then goddess Lakshmi gives sprinkles coins to the old lady's house.
Very nice. Has anyone heard here or knows the Kanakadara Stotra?
Sir, I know, but I have read. I don't know properly in the right tune, but I
No problem. You can learn it, and in one of the sessions we will listen to that. Very nice story, Namit.
Thank you, sir.
I want to ask one couple of questions. One question is related to, you said Shankaracharya was begging. So is it like, you also see a lot of beggars begging on the street. Shankaracharya is also begging. Is there a difference in these two beggings?
Like beggars, normally I have seen they don't use the money properly. I have seen beggars having bad habits like smoking and all. So they use it in a bad way. But Adi Shankaracharya uses for his ashram and for himself, for food and all the needs for all that uses. So I think that's the difference between these two.
Okay, that's what you think. All right. What about Aditya? Yeah.
Beggars who we see, they do it out of force because they don't have money. Whereas Shankaracharya did it. Even though he could have gotten a job or done and gotten money, he chose to beg so that I understand it, so that he doesn't have an ego, so he can he knows that he's not like a great person, and he doesn't have that pride in him. So that's why because begging is considered to be a very bad thing, and like a lowly thing. So doing that would keep him humble, something like that.
Okay, but knowing someone like Sri Shankaracharya, he's realized that he has realized his true nature. Why would somebody like him still go on begging? Okay, what about Anita? What is Anita's answer to this?
Sir, what was the question? I didn't understand.
So, what Aditya said is, sannyasi goes into begging in order to lower his ego. I'm so great, but begging requires a lot of humility. I'm not great. Even for food, I survive only because of the compassion of others. So, begging, one has to lower their own pride in self, in the ego. The ego has to be very, very low in order to beg. So, Aditya said that is the reason why sannyasis beg. So, I followed up with a question. Shankaracharya is not an ordinary sannyasi who is thinking of reducing his ego. The nature of what he has described and the nature of what he showed the world all shows that he's a fully realized being. So even then, he was in the process of begging. Is there a difference there? So one is, beggar, and a sannyasi who wants to lower the ego to beg. But why would somebody like Shankaracharya also beg? Even Buddha used to carry his begging bowl and beg. Is there a difference in their begging and an ordinary beggar's begging and a sannyasi who is wanting to be a sannyasi, his begging? Is there a difference? That's the question.
Yeah, I think between ordinary and a sannyasi, there is definitely a difference. And coming to the ego question, I think, yeah, I think even to reduce their ego, like they think I'm great, but then they should realize that they're dependent for food and many other things.
Yeah, so it's the same view that you're sharing as what Aditya shared. My question is then, is there a difference in the begging that Buddha and Sri Shankaracharya were doing?
No.
No, as in it is still to lower the ego, you think?
Yeah.
All right. What about Anita? What is Anita's views on this?
Uncle, I'm not sure.
All right. Okay. Let's understand this clearly. A beggar begs out of, like Aditya said, force. He begs because he feels he lacks something. He doesn't have fulfillment. So, in order to get that, begging is the way he has chosen. So, he feels that I lack food, and without food, I cannot survive. So, in order to fulfill that lack, he has become a beggar. He has become also a beggar out of his sheer attitude of laziness. Even though he may be physically handicapped, he can still do so many functions or jobs in the world and earn a decent living. But in a way, he has become very lazy, very tamasic. So that nature of begging is a very low nature of begging, where one feels less. One feels I'm not capable, I'm not good enough, I cannot do anything. There's a lot of lacking, and also a lot of laziness has set in. Like Namit pointed out, they become victims of lot of bad habits: smoking, drinking, just sleeping, whiling away their time. So, in a way, that kind of a begging is a social evil. But now in sannyasa, what is sannyasa? We have discussed about sannyasa as samyak nyasaha iti sannyasaha. Means the right deposit of the mind is true sannyasatva. Our mind is constantly deposited on outside world. Instagram, chatting with friends, enjoying the movies, looking at maybe so many other nonsense things, and wasting our life. This is attraction to the outside world. There is nothing wrong in any of this. However, one has to realize that where we pay attention to, that grows in us. What we constantly keep looking at, that grows in us. What qualities we find, constantly keep seeking, that also develops within us. So the beggar did not become a beggar day one. He became a beggar by first doing the begging and getting some food or whatever, finding other beggars around him, because birds of the same feather flock together. A beggar attracts beggars. So like that, he attracts such kind of a thinking around him. And so therefore, he gets more and more involved in that. And that's how he continues to be a beggar. And that is how any change in life happens. For you also, in any particular area that you are interested in, whether it is music, dance, or some science, math, history, geography, whatever, you have to find some interest, then you will seek more information, then you will find more interesting things, you will find friends who are also interested in that. So like that it grows. So in life, therefore, what you pay attention to grows in your life. So therefore, great masters always say, be very aware of where you are paying attention to, what you are constantly carrying in your mind, because that nature grows in you. Beggar becomes a beggar over a period of time. An angry person becomes an angry person over a period of time. A person who lies becomes a liar over a period of time. A person who becomes a thief over a period of time. What one pays attention to is what grows within them. Similarly, our great masters realized that one is truly divine. You are not an ordinary beggar or a thief or a liar or a scoundrel. You are that divine light of the self. But most people do not recognize their own inner divinity. They while away their time, they waste their time, they live their life, which amounts to nothing, neither for their own self-evolution nor for the benefit of the others. So therefore, the great masters gave a path in life. And the ultimate path for self-realization is called as sannyasa ashrama. And the sannyasa is, when you look at the word sannyasatva or sannyasi or sannyasa, it means right deposit of mind. What you deposit your mind on, that grows. And that is what Lakshmi is also about. Lakshmi means, the word Lakshmi comes from the root Lakshya. Lakshya means aim, what you focus on. So what you focus on, that eventually turns out to be Lakshmi. You receive that. Lakshmi is the embodiment of wealth. And wealth are so many kinds of wealth. Dhana Lakshmi, Dhanya Lakshmi, Santana Lakshmi. Dhana means money. Dhanya means grains. Like that, all kinds of wealth, like already our Namit said, all kinds of wealth is represented as Lakshmi. So what wealth comes to you? Only that wealth about which you have focused your mind's attention on. What you have paid attention to, that wealth comes to you. Lakshya, where your Lakshya, your aim is, that is what comes to you. If your Lakshya is about all kinds of nonsense in the world, then only nonsense grows as the fruit. If your Lakshya is about the truths, then that embellishes, that grows more and more within you. So because our great masters realize this, they define sannyasa as what you deposit your mind in. However, as a practice, see, just because you know music is good and nice, you cannot become a great musician one day. You cannot just wake up today and say that, okay, from today onwards, I'm a great musician. There is a practice needed for that. You cannot become a great Bharatanatyam dancer just in one day. It requires years and years of hardship. Because the most wonderful things in life don't come to you in one day. Whatever is easy, whatever easily comes to you, you should know that it is probably not a very important thing in life. For example, scolding others or finding blame in others are all very easy. Excuse, what is the reason for my failure is all very easy. So, which means that easier things are not always the right things for your own growth. So, therefore, the masters gave sannyasatva a very prominent place. So, some people who decide that, okay, I want to now dedicate my life to realize my true nature, and I want to use all my efforts to realize that. See, some people dedicate their life to become a scientist, some people dedicate their life to become an engineer. So, like that, somebody who decides all of this is temporary, I want to go beyond this, I want to realize the truth about me, about the existence, about this whole world. And that person can also take sannyasa diksha. Again, sannyasa diksha means to fully put your time into realizing the self. And one of the initial practice for a sannyasi is to lower the ego, because the only thing that is blocking him or her from realizing his or her true nature is, who I am, a wrong notion, a wrong idea, a false idea of who I am. So to remove that wrong notion, first is to lower that. I am great. That has to be lowered. So begging, go and get your food. See, even for simple thing like food, you are dependent on others. Just look at your own life. You may be enjoying so many things compared to so many others, but please notice your life. Every little thing you have got is nothing that you have created. It has come to you. It's all due to so many others, millions and millions of others, not just people, birds, animal, plants. This entire existence is helping you to get whatever you have received. The cloth you are wearing, the computer you're using, the food that you eat, the luxuries that you enjoy. So many people don't even have 3 good meals a day. Leave 3, not even 1 good meal a day. Millions of children suffer out of hunger. But all of us are so blessed. So many things we have. And we take it all for granted. And we yell and scream, if something is not right. So to lower that ego, we have to first realize that what I have is because of the cooperation of so many others. I have to realize that this food is not ordinary. Even simple thing as food, which is to nourish this body, is not ordinary. So begging is given as a practice to reduce the pride of the ego in a beginner. However, somebody like Buddha or Shankaracharya also begs, but they don't take the food for free. In return for the food that you have offered, they offer you back the ultimate truth, the jnana. So wherever Buddha used to beg, he used to conduct satsangs, he used to conduct jnana sabhas. Or look at the life of Sri Shankaracharya. He decided the main purpose of his life is to bring out the Sanatana Dharma and to make it available to each and every one. So that requires a lot of effort. Just like how in order to pass your exam, you need to put in the right effort. If a simple mathematics exam requires effort, somebody like Shankaracharya, the greatness of him, thousands of years back, he walked all the way from his village in Kerala to all the way to North India, up in Himalayas, met his guru, learnt about various shastras, scriptures, established 4 mathas in all the 4 major corners of India. And it is those mathas and it is the people who came in there who have now held a lot of great scriptures even alive till today. Such is the impact of the work that Shankaracharya did thousands of years back. Or look at the work done by Buddha, who had no possession of his own. But even till today, there are so many who follow in his footsteps. So his work has left long-lasting peace and wisdom to thousands and thousands, for that matter, millions of people. So this requires a lot of effort. And while doing that work, they have to still sustain themselves. So in order to purely sustain, they beg. Not out of a lack. They don't need anything for their self. However, the body through which they have to perform the action has to sustain. So they beg not out of a feeling of lack, but out of a want to give, a compassion to offer something else to others in return for the food they receive. Like the story Namit said, in return for the food, when that old lady offered her most important possession to this sannyasi, Sri Shankaracharya, he blessed her with outer wealth. So he did not take her food for free. So please realize in this life, like that, each one of us takes so many things. What am I giving in return for that benefits others? I eat, I clothe, I take so many things as luxuries. What is that I am doing for the benefit of the others? That is a true sannyasi. It is not in the clothes they wear, but in the inner feeling, in the inner realization. So therefore, we need to learn to distinguish between a beggar and one who is begging as a sannyasi, because to lower the ego, and a realized being like Shankaracharya and Buddha, why they beg. So three different stages. Shankaracharya or Buddha, they don't need. See, if Shankaracharya can pray and have Kanakadara on that old lady, don't you think he can get food easily? It is very much possible. But still, they go on living the way they live in order to be a role model in the society. You need to learn who is the right role model. So they are the ultimate role models. They have gotten all the powers in the world, but still none of the power has corrupted them. They remain humble. They remain as they are without any possession, but give the most valuable wealth, the inner wealth of Atma Jnana, for the benefit of others. That is the true celebration of Vara Lakshmi Vrata. So the Lakshya, or the aim that you put, in that way you receive the Lakshmi. So please be very aware of what Lakshya you are putting, because your life is your own making. Your tomorrow is based on what you're doing today. Your today is based on what you're doing yesterday. So that is how you create your own future. And what you receive is your own making. So just to summarize, I'm not sure if all of you can see this. Is this seen clearly?
Yes, sir.
So, Anita, can you see this? Can you read this, Anita?
The fruit you can see is always a result of the root you cannot see.
Exactly. So what do you understand by that, Anita?
Uncle, that the result that you have today is stems from the actions that you did yesterday.
Exactly. The thoughts that you're carrying, and the actions that you're performing. So suddenly, miraculously, you won't get angry, upset, irritated, depressed, or suddenly you won't get 100 marks in your exams. All of that, whatever may be the fruit may be anger, irritation, worry, stress. The fruit may be appreciation, good marks in the exam. The fruit may be deep peace or love or compassion that you realize. Any of that is due to what action you perform moment to moment, moment to moment now. That is the true Vara Mahalakshmi Vrata. So Lakshmi is there. So even Daridra Lakshmi is there. So Lakshmi has so many forms. Even Daridra means ill wealth, anger, worry, depression, begging, stress. All these are Daridra. But that is also called as Lakshmi, Daridra Lakshmi. So Lakshya, depending upon where your aim is, Lakshya, where your aim is, that Lakshmi comes into your life. Daridra Lakshmi or Saubhagya Lakshmi. Which Lakshmi you are aspiring for? Which Lakshmi is auspicious for you? So the most auspicious is Shri Varamaha Lakshmi. Shri, the most auspicious. Realizing your true nature is the ultimate. So Lakshmi is available to you in any form that you seek her. As Daridra Lakshmi, as Dhanya Lakshmi, Dhana Lakshmi, Santan Lakshmi, or Shri Lakshmi. She is available to you in all the forms. So where you put your aim, that Lakshmi comes in your life. She resides in you. That's all it really means. Any questions? And anything to say? Is this all clear? Okay, I would like to hear your summary understanding. What did you understand, Anita, from this whole discussion?
Uncle, I don't think Lakshmi necessarily means outside wealth, but I think it also means realizing who you actually are and realizing some some higher qualities that can help you be a better person, and also the difference in the beggars. It can be used as an example for how we should also behave. Normal beggars just expect something from others, but they won't do anything to return the favor. But people who are realized and beg, they always try to return the favor and make sure to return the favor. So I think all of us can also be like that. So just like how we expect something from society, we can also give something back.
Excellent. Very nice. Very well put, Anita. Namit, what did you understand? Please unmute and speak.
Yes, sir. So Lakshmi basically means the Lakshyam, which means aim. So what the aim we put, or whatever we focus on, that itself is Lakshmi. It is not only Lakshmi not only means inner and outer wealth, but also means that the aim we put. And yes, and we also understood about the beggars, the difference between the beggars who are sannyasis and normal beggars. Normal beggars, they don't give anything back, and they're selfish, and they're not grateful for what they have got. They still want more and more. They're greedy. So yeah, and they don't know how to use money in the right way. So yeah, and then we also and Arish and sannyasis, all sannyasis, even though they have all the powers, they have gathered all the powers from their gurus by various shastras and scriptures, they don't get corrupted or just even though they can. Adi Shankaracharya could tell told Kanakadara Stotram, he didn't stop begging because he wants to reduce his ego. So
In
ego
the case of Sri Shankara, it is not the reduction of his own ego. He wants to be a role model to others.
Yeah, he wants to be a role model to others, and he also he got the gooseberry, and in favor he gave in return he gave money, mean in the form of his and Kanakadara Stotram, and goddess Lakshmi sprinkled coins, and even Buddha, if you see, wherever he went, he conducted Jnana Sabhas, and he was very thankful and grateful for what he got, and he respected money a lot. He was using it in the right way.
Excellent. Very nice, Namit. Yes, Aditya.
Yeah, so we were talking about why different people beg. So we said that beggars beg because they don't have a choice, and they do it in
No, they do have a choice, but they have not realized that they have a choice.
they do it out of what they think is force, and they do it for like money and all of that. Whereas sannyasis do it for reducing their ego.
Can you speak up a little so that they can also hear it clearly?
Whereas people like Adi Shankaracharya and Buddha, they do it to show, to be an example to others so that they can also follow that. And we also talked about Varma Lakshmi and why we celebrate it. So Lakshmi is the result of our Lakshya, which is the goal, and whatever seed we put, that's that's the Lakshmi we get. So Lakshmi can be in like different forms.
Excellent.
Yeah, like wealth, or like it can be physical, or something that's inside you.
Even the knowledge is Lakshmi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every aspect of life that you cherish as wealth is all different forms of Lakshmi only. Your jnana, your skill, your abilities, everything is the best, is because of the grace of Lakshmi. But only that Lakshmi comes to you on who you put your mind. All right. Any other questions? Anything else? Wonderful. So we'll stop this contemplation on Sri Vara Mahalakshmi festival.